Hello everyone, it's me, Annie-Lynn. Welcome back to my channel. This is my very special boy, Bingley. He's my brand new puppy. For longtime viewers of the channel, my dog Chaplin unfortunately did pass away back in November. We had to put him down. So today we are going to be breaking down all 5 of Amber's Rarity stories. I know a lot of people have talked about this, they've gone over the timeline, but I haven't talked about this, okay? And we are going to break this down. We are going to go through every timeline and we're going to figure out what actually happened, okay? So buckle in, folks, because we're about to dive in deep. Hi, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the evidence wall. I really wish that I had a whiteboard or a chalkboard, but I don't. Luckily, I do have an endless supply of colorful sticky notes, so that's what we're going to be using today. Now, we've all been talking about this Rarity situation for a long time. We've gotten 5 different stories, and I gotta tell you, I don't think we realize just how ridiculous this is until we really put it into a visual, all right? So bear with me. This video might be a little bit long, but I promise you it's worth it because we're gonna do a very deep dive look at all 5 of these stories and see just how drastically different they are. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Just bear with me, okay? Just hang tight, I promise, all right? I know it's not a parody video, but I promise this is entertaining and this is important. Justice for Rarity. Got my notes here. Now, the first version of the story we ever heard was on November 18th, 2024, which that alone is crazy to think about, okay? This cat has been gone for like a year and a half. Amber was forced to tell us this story because I think she was gonna sweep this under the rug. I don't think she was gonna tell anybody that Rarity was missing. She was forced to say something when a person found a post on a missing cat thread on Facebook and was like, that's Rarity. Things circulated, Amber had to say something. So she said something on 11/18, and I think Rarity went missing on the 16th. She then retells us basically the exact same story on the 23rd of November. She just like acts it out. So I'm gonna tie these 2 stories into version 1 because they're pretty much identical. Yellow is gonna be our first story here. Amber goes to take the dogs out. Now to me, this seems pretty believable, honestly. You know, she has a weird sleep schedule. Emily has a weird work schedule. They're probably getting up early. Gotta let the pets out, right? She says that she opens the sliding glass door. Pets go out. Pets come back in. She believes that she closes it. She thinks she closed it, okay? However, there is a curtain hanging there. So she couldn't quite see that she didn't close it because the curtain was hiding it, which honestly could happen to any of us, okay? Like, it's bad, but like accidents do happen. What makes this even more realistic is that she declares that about 20 minutes later, so we're gonna say somewhere between 5 and 6, Amber discovers the cold breeze, okay? She says about 20 minutes, which I think, again, feels reasonable. Now, I grew up in Michigan, which is very, very close to Wisconsin. It gets cold. It gets real cold, all right? And if you leave a door open, you're gonna feel that breeze. I can understand with the curtain being in front of the opening, maybe it took a little bit longer to discover, to feel the cold breeze. I think 20 minutes, it's a long time, but it's a realistic amount of time. Woo! We're gonna start taping these because they're falling off. Again, this is bad, but realistic. 20 minutes to discover the cold breeze, 20 minutes for the cat to disappear. It could happen. Amber also said that once she saw the door open, she just knew. Internally, instinctively, she just knew that Rarity was out or one of the cats. She knew that something was wrong. And it was at this point, 20 minutes later, that she realized that the cat was gone. Oh no. Like, realistically, this could happen to somebody. This is the most realistic story that we have, and it's also the story that we know is 100% incorrect because Amber completely made this one up. All right, now things get interesting. Let's move on to version number 2. Version number 2, we do not get until August 2nd of 2025. This cat's been gone for like 10 months at this point. So, 5 a.m., Amber and Emily get into a big old fight, which honestly also very believable. Amber claims that Emily goes out the back sliding door and doesn't close it all the way. And so the door is left ajar open. Whether or not the curtain is there, who's to say? But we do know that according to version number 2, Emily left the door open at around 5 a.m. Now, Amber claims that she did not notice that the door was left open because she was not by the door. So therefore, she could not feel the cold breeze. All right, we're gonna put that around here. Amber didn't know, okay? She was not near the door. Now, I already wanna like kind of put into question this little detail here, because if I was in a fight with somebody and we know that Amber was following her around the house, regardless of what pace that might have been, we know she was following her around. If I was arguing with somebody and I was Amber and my partner left out the back door, would you not go to the back door? Would you not go to see and check, like, did they get in their car? Are they leaving? Are they out there? What happened to them? Would you not, like, go to the door to check? I guess Amber didn't in this case. But still a little fishy that she wouldn't have gone to the door at all after following Emily out. But according to her, she was not near the door, so she did not feel the cold breeze. This part is crazy. We're gonna make this sticky note purple because this is a huge time jump, all right? This is the evening. This is anywhere from 12 to 17 hours later. This is when Amber goes and sits at the table to wait for Emily to get back. It is at this time when she sits at the table that she is by the screen door and she finally feels the cold air. Okay, let's break that down for a second. You're telling me that within 12 to 17 hours, you did not realize that it was oddly cold in your house? You did not realize that, oh, maybe I left a window or the door open? You didn't realize that in 12 to 17 hours until you sat at the table that something was cold? Okay. Crazy. What do you mean this is the first time you've been near your table? Okay, from what I gather of Emily's like living situation is they like the little dining room table area, which is by the screen door, right? And my assumption would be if the table is here, the kitchen has to be nearby, right? Right? Did you not once go to the kitchen? Okay, what about feeding your animals, refilling, a water bowl or something like that? You didn't go into the kitchen to eat anything? Amber, let's be real. You're telling me that in 12 to 17 hours, not only did you not notice that it was cold in your house, or Emily's house, but you also didn't go near the door, which is right by the kitchen, the entire time? What were you doing all day, Amber? Make it make sense. The next day. It is the next day that Amber has not seen Rarity. So you're telling me that it has been a full day and you have not seen your cat. And you just now think, that's weird. I'm just now noticing I haven't seen my cat in like 24 hours. Okay, sorry. All right, tangent, okay? So my mom was up here visiting me in New York not that long ago, and we decided we were gonna order a pizza, right? New York pizza, it's great. So I opened the door for the DoorDash man. I'm like, oh, thank you, we're chatting. My dog, who is small, snuck outside the door, all right? This actually happened. Thank you, sir, close the door, whatever. I would say within 2 to 3 minutes, my mom and I were like, where's Bingley? Where is he? He's normally around, where is he? Took us like 2 seconds to search my apartment and we're like, I bet he's outside. Open the door, there he is in the hallway. Come here, Bingley, he comes back inside, okay? I knew within minutes that my dog was missing. So this is wild. This is wild that it's the next day. Okay, Amber, that's crazy. What? All right, let's go to version 3. Version 3, we get the very next day. So this is 8/3/25. And this is when we had the leaked text messages between Emily and Mr. Snowflake. These came out, and so we saw kind of the behind the scenes, which proved that, yes, of course, Emily and Amber are indeed having a fight. We're not gonna go into the details of that fight. That's a different video. We're just talking about the Rarity situation. But yes, Amber and Emily did indeed fight. All right? And once again, Amber is stating that Emily is the one that left the door open when she left out the back door at 5 a.m. This is when things start to look a little bit better. In the last story, Amber says she hasn't seen Rarity until the next day. In version number 3, she can't find Rarity sometime in the evening, okay? And that's when she begins to look for her. So again, we're still looking at the somewhere in the 12 to 17 hour range. Okay, haven't seen your cat for 12 to 17 hours. Didn't think to care, but it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's whatever. Yeah, we just didn't notice. We didn't notice it was cold. We didn't notice that the cat was gone for 12 to 17 hours. Sure, Amber. Sure. This next part is something that we absolutely know to be fact because we have seen the screenshots. We know that at 10:06 that night, Amber texts Emily, "I can't find Rarity." I'm guessing these are probably around the same time period, would be my guess, right? Because how long does it really take to go, oh, where's my cat? Shoot, I should look around for her. I can't find her. Oh no, panic is setting in. Crap, now I have to go and text Emily. So I would guess, let's say this happens around 8, 9 o'clock, 9:30, you know, it would be my guess, okay? So again, we're talking close to 17 hours here that she hasn't seen Rarity. Okay, we know that at 10 o'clock, Amber did in fact text Emily, "I can't find Rarity." Version 4 is a little bit interesting, all right? Version 4, we once again get the Amber and Emily get into a fight around 5 a.m. All right? That is a pretty consistent thing that we can apparently all agree upon. This is when things get interesting, okay? Amber claims that about 20 minutes later, Emily has cooled off and comes back inside the house. This is all pretty much back to back to back, okay? Fight at 5 o'clock, 20 minutes later, Emily comes back in. At 6 a.m., Emily leaves for work. So we can deduce that either in those 20 minutes, that was the only time that the door was open, or that the door was open between the 20 minutes, so let's say 5:20 through 6 a.m., which would be 40 minutes. So the cat either left within these 20 minutes or within these 40 minutes, okay? Or maybe the door was open the whole time. That gives the cat an hour to escape. Either way, what's interesting about this is that there's a very, very small window of which the cat could have left. Now, in all of these other ones, there's 12 to 17 hours where the cat could disappear, right? That's a lot of time. So in theory, we could back it up and say Amber saw the cat at 4:30 during the day, you know, didn't think anything of it because the cat left at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? There's more time for Rarity to have escaped. No! So this one actually makes her look worse, okay? Because we know that Rarity would have had to have gone missing between the 5 and 6 o'clock time frame. So this one makes Amber look the worst so far because this is the one where we know for a fact, based on this timeline, that Rarity has been gone the most amount of time, right? I think that makes sense. That makes sense in my brain, right? Right? It's also interesting that this is the one time Emily comes back in. And this time, too, we're stating that Emily leaves for work at 6 a.m. Hold up for the next version, because Emily leaves for work at 7 a.m. All right, in version number 5, which is our most recent story that we got on Lol Cow Bus, this was January 1st. They were asking her about it, and she's like, "Let me speak my truth." And this is the truth that she speaks. So this is our most recent version of the story. And we are now getting a 7 a.m. So we've got a new timeline here. I also moved everything down so it just looked a little bit cleaner. Okay, great. So let's start off with our classic 5 a.m. Emily and Amber fight. Cool, great. Now, in this version, she states that Emily then goes to work at 7 a.m. This is, again, where I think things get important, all right? They fight at 5. Emily goes to work at 7 a.m. And it is that point that Amber claims she notices the door is open, okay? She notices the door is open around 7 a.m. So this means that, let's say the door has been open since 5 a.m. Rarity has had 2 hours to leave. At this point, at 7 a.m., the door, she realizes open and she closes it, okay? Very different from, oh, I'm feeling a cold breeze. Like over here, for example, sits at table. That was the first time she realized that the door was open. These are drastically different stories, right? Texts Emily, can't find Rarity. Oh wait, can't find Rarity. Should go over here, right? It is at this point that Amber then tells us that she goes to sleep, which is something she has not told us thus far, but to me also feels the most accurate thing that would have happened, because we know Amber has like a weird sleeping schedule, and she's probably like, Emily's not here? Well then what's there to do? I can't do things by myself, so I'm just gonna go to sleep. So I do think that that is realistic. It also showcases why she wouldn't notice that Rarity was gone for so long, because she was asleep. So then it's the evening. She wakes up. Where is Rarity? I don't know. And a text is sent to Emily. Got a couple questions here. If we realize that the door is open and we realize, oh shoot, the door might have been open for 2 hours, would the first thing not be, oh, we should go and figure out if all of the animals are here? Like, wouldn't that be like the first thing that you do? That seems like kind of a no-brainer to me. I think somebody in the live stream does ask her this very question, and I think she says it's because of anxiety that she just went to bed. Now, I get this, okay? I understand how when you have anxiety, especially if you're just in a fight with your partner, there's a lot of things going on. Anxiety can heighten and it makes you just want to go to bed. It makes you not want to figure out what's going on. It makes you not want to do chores, things like that. But for me, when it comes to like a human being and she claims these are her children, like, I don't know how many mothers out there are like, I just had too much anxiety to go and see if my kids were still where they were supposed to be when they could have escaped. What? At some point, there are some things that I feel, I mean, maybe I'm, this is bad for me to be saying, because my experience with anxiety is not the same as everybody else's experience with anxiety. We all experience mental health in different ways. I do not think there is a world in which anxiety would keep me from checking to see if my animal was still in the house. If anything, it would be like the anxiety is so bad I have to find my animals right now, because otherwise, like, I won't be able to sleep until I know that all my animals are safe. Like, I feel like that's where the anxiety would come from. Or if you notice the door is open at 7 a.m., you close it and you go straight to bed without checking to see if your animals are okay, that's wild. That's crazy. I don't get anxiety my ass. I'm sorry. That's crazy. That's insane. That's insane. Because in all the other ones, Amber is not claiming that she fell asleep. Okay? I would have used that right away, because that immediately discredits all these hours gone and being like, how did you just live for those many hours without seeing your pets? At least if you're asleep, you're unconscious for all those hours. So I guess that like helps your story. But it also makes you look like a terrible person because you noticed the door was open. If you went to sleep without realizing that the door was open, that's a different story. But no, you're claiming that you closed the door and then went to sleep. Now, I know that there are the conspiracy theorists who are like, and I know I'm going to get them in the comments, that are like, well, Amber purposely kicked her cat out, not thinking that she'd actually run away, and thinking that that could get Emily to let her stay because Emily was telling her to leave at this time. Sure. I understand where those theories are coming from. Assume that. I think I understand why it's a theory and why people have it, but I don't think that that is, we got to look at the facts. We got to look at what we've been told, okay? And all I know is that what we've been told is 5 very different stories, And every single one of them has moments where I'm like, what are you doing, Amber? And I think it's funny that she said that she created this one because she didn't want people to be mad at Emily. Girl, you look way worse than Emily in all of these stories. I do not believe for 1 second that if roles were reversed and Amber left, Emily would 1000% check on her pets. And I don't think Emily's a great person. In fact, I think Emily's a horrible person. But I do believe that she's probably a better pet parent, because I think anybody would be a better pet parent, because this is absolutely ridiculous. How do you tell the same story 5 times over a year and a half and they're this different? I watch a lot of true crime, folks, and something is not adding up. But I just think, to me, it's crazy why your story wouldn't be consistent. I feel like I would 100% remember the day that I realized my pet was missing. Like, that is a day that would be ingrained in my mind, right? And I guess you could say because she has trauma, she doesn't remember things because of her PTSD. It's so, to me, it's just neglectful. At the end of the day, there's no way of telling the story in any different way. At the end of the day, Amberlynn was a neglectful pet owner. Every single story, it's like this never should have happened. There are things that could have prevented it. If she had started looking for Rarity right away, I guarantee you Rarity was not that far, right? If Amber had just made one good choice, Rarity would still be here. I do want to also say that I would understand if like Wasabi was the one that disappeared, because she said that Rarity is her shadow. Rarity is always with her. So why did it take you 50 years to realize, oh, I haven't seen her in a while? Wasabi's the one that's always like hiding, that we never see, right? That would be an easier cat to be like, okay, I haven't seen him all day. Maybe I should look for him. He likes to hide. He likes to keep to himself. Rarity was a social cat. Rarity liked to be around Amber, be around people. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? I've rambled a lot in this video. I'm like terrified of how long this video is going to be. And if anyone's going to even want to watch it, I don't know. But I think it's worthwhile. If you watched it until the end, thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's just, even when you lay it all out, like, it makes even less sense. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, sorry this was like really, really long. But I do think it's really interesting when you really break it down and like look at it visually, just how much the stories change. And just really how much time went by without Amber noticing anything. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I, in no worlds, could understand how any of these stories make sense. Again, the one that makes the most sense is the complete and utter lie, which is this one. I believe there's truth in all of these. This is the one that she lied about, and this is the one that makes the most logical sense. I don't know, man. I don't know. Subscribe if you liked this. This was a lot. I know. I'm sorry. But I will be getting back into the parody and funny stuff soon. But I just wanted to give my take on this because it's crazy.